authority. He went to the temple when he knows his parents were probably going to be worried sick about him, and when he could have been playing with his friends or helping his parents out when they were returning from the Passover festival. He could have been doing anything else, but he chose to spend time with God and learn more about God by listening and asking questions of these religious leaders. If Jesus had gone with the flow, he wouldn't have ended up in the temple. He wouldn't have ended up learning the things he had learned in those 3 days. He couldn't go with the flow. He had a calling from God, and in the same way, we can tend to go with the flow, go with what everyone else thinks, but at the same time, we're ignoring the whispers that God gives us along the way. And I'm not saying to ignore your family and friends. Listen to them, but also make room for God's voice in your life. If Jesus would have just gone with the flow, gone with everyone who was traveling back to Nazareth, he wouldn't have ended up in the temple, and maybe he wouldn't have ended up learning everything he did in those 3 days. In the same way, we can lose sight of what's important in our lives when people are saying stuff to us, when there are so many voices in the world that we don't know which one to listen to. But ultimately, they should not influence what God is saying to us. He speaks to us. He calls us to do things, and they might seem strange to your family and friends, but remember that God is a priority. Follow what he has for you, because it is greater than any advice that anyone else could ever give you. And I'm not saying don't listen to your family and friends. Listen to them, but make room for God's voice in your life. And so yeah, that's all I wanted to talk about. I hope this video didn't run too long, but I do recommend checking out that story for yourself. It's in Luke chapter 2, verse 41. It's super interesting. I kept on going back to it just because it was such a good story about Jesus' youth and how he was growing up. And if you're growing up right now, you're in the same stage that Jesus was in, it's a very good story. So go read that, check that out. I totally recommend it. And yeah, if you like this video, drop an amen in the comments.